Hello. Welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Chill Sedition Edition Part 3. We are going to be recapping days 1 through 5 of the January 6th committee hearings. We're also going to have some fun. We'll probably have some anagrams. And I just feel like quoting X right now. The world's a mess. It's in your kiss. That's what I got.
Yeah. Today was fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
in general,
no. Today particularly was like two really, really extreme fucking things happened.
Yeah.
Like the Supreme Court came down with 5. There were 13 bizarre ass decisions, but there were 5 that were really dark, right? Including basically making Miranda, more or less moot, because you can't sue the cops if they don't give you your Miranda rights. It boggles the fucking mind. And then they make it so that every single gun law in every single state is up to the Supreme Court to decide whether or not it's fucking legal or not. And guess what they're going to decide every single time?
Yep.
Like, this is not an activist court. This is a terrorist court. This court is going to take us as far backwards as they possibly can in the time that they have available to them. And our job is to make that time as short as fucking possible. Because the other thing that happened today was better news, as far as I'm concerned. The January 6th committee just dropped Trump in the fucking ocean with a lead weight around his foot. Like, that guy is done. Also, all these other motherfuckers. That I thought today was great. I thought Liz Cheney's mic drop was unbelievable, and that they proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was an intentional plan to corrupt the Department of Justice as part of a larger plan to fucking
steal the election. Yeah, to take the
actual goddamn coup of America is what they were doing, what they were advocating for, right? So that happens. But before the hearings start, and this is the I have been very critical of Merrick Garland. Now, Merrick Garland has been metal as fuck in the past. Merrick Garland has brought the worst people in the world down. Fucking like all kinds of bad people, Russian mafia and New York mafia and all kinds of shit. So he is not immune to hardball, and he pulled that shit out today. He was like, this morning before the hearing where you're going to get embarrassed in front of the entire world, I'm going to put you on the street in your fucking PJs while we take your shit out of your house because you're a traitor.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that was the message, and it was loud and clear, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Today, Merrick Garland, you win this fucking round. I'm not apologizing for anything because you're too slow and you don't talk enough, but that was metal. That was fucking street, and I appreciate you today. Thank you.
I have not been critical of Merrick Garland because I understand from the people that we interview that the process is slow as fuck, and I have tried to take some zen to that. But just like Vince at the Chin, you got to see these mobsters in their PJs, and I think that's I think that's a big good day.
It is a sign to the rest of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
If you lie to us, if you give us false information, if you try and hide from us, which Jeffrey Clark clearly did, we're gonna have your neighbors find out what you wear to bed.
That's right.
Yeah, that
is hardcore.
They'll even take down an environmental lawyer, so they're going to take down me. That's what they're thinking.
Hey, so for those of you who don't have time or are phoning in from other countries where you might not have had an opportunity to watch all the hearings, I did prepare a very short summary. Unfortunately, my writing is terrible, but I'm going to try to make sense of it.
Fishing for compliments. Fishing for compliments. Come on.
No. What I mean is my penmanship is terrible.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm
That's handwriting, Heidi. That's your handwriting.
Humble shit.
I'm a hella reporter. I've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
So day
your penmanship.
Yes, this looks a little bit sketchy.
Who has good penmanship anymore? Who the fuck uses?
Definitely not young kids. Kids really they
actually. I literally can't do my own signature anymore. I don't know how.
That doesn't surprise me.
Things.
Our friend Marie whipped out one of Hi-Fi's, whiteboards, and I was like, "Damn, he's got like the neat writing of like a really smart sixth grader, like a front of the class, the person who like really knows what they're doing."
Front of the class.
So okay, and I bet you were because you're so smart.
And so he's got good penmanship and a hell of a dungeon. I'm just saying.
You know what?
Want to get that dungeon. Loves to get in the dungeon.
Actually,
Jim loves to get in that dungeon.
Actually, I think the dungeon has been replaced by a new crib. Okay, so day number 1.
Summary,
we learned Trump attempted a coup. Day number 2, we learned that the big grift was a cynical money-making scheme. Number 3, we learned that there was a hell of a lot of pressure on Pence. Number 4, we learned about this fake electoral scheme that even the most conservative human beings in the world weren't buying into. And number 5, we learned that Trump tried to weaponize the DOJ. And
number 6.
Oh, I don't. And actually, wait. Well, let's go back. Let's go back.
All right,
Shay. No, I didn't see my writing. Let's just talk about Shay and Ruby.
We'll fix it in post.
No. Yeah. Shay and Ruby.
Okay, quickly. And then I have one.
Once again, I can't quite talk about this stuff without getting emotional because we have felt the psychological trauma of trolls. We have felt what it's like to not want to give people your name because it's associated with things that aren't even true about yourself. But and actually, I have felt what it's like to have Trump actually Bigfoot something directly that I was involved in, but we have not felt what they felt, where all of these racist frickin' dog whistles from the highest offices from Giuliani and Trump were aimed at them. So a big double barrel fuck you to Donald fucking Trump and Rudy Giuliani for the harm they caused those ladies and their families. So
double dose. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what I want to say about that.
I stand by that 100%. My other thing I was just going to mention is here's the number 6 was Marjorie Taylor Greene asking for a pardon for 4 days, 5 days after being an official. 5 fucking days. I'm not surprised. Of course she did. She's entitled Southern debutante and just thinks everything should be given to her. Oh man, that was unbelievable. And how about Matt Gaetz? Where there's, how do you know that he asked for a pardon? He told me.
A lot of fraud.
That's great.
I mean, look,
that's good testimony. That's good testimony. How do you know? He told me. Okay.
Here's the thing, right? Like you look at this, the behavior of Trump, right? The pardons, you just keep going backwards to all the shit that he did throughout his presidency, but starting with the fucking pardons of Mike Flynn and Steve Bannon and Roger Stone.
Pardon fraud. The pardon fraud is a matter of national fucking security, as we are absolutely finding out right now.
That has got to get fixed. The problem is the Supreme Court would have to adjudicate that most likely, and
we need to adjudicate the Supreme Court.
The fact that he was going to pardon.
I'd like to throw out a question real fast.
Okay.
Do you think Trump was smart enough to pardon himself in advance?
I think he was. I think he's pardoned himself. Yep.
Good luck with that.
Why would he? Why would he? Why would he not have? I mean, let's think about Trump. He has. You don't have to disclose your pardons. You don't. Right. We found that out. He is tucked away. He loves to do things that are unconventional, no one's ever done before, and he's a greedy, selfish asshole. Of course, he would do it to himself. I mean,
he'll be like, so was the best pardon fraud that anyone's ever seen.
I mean, self-preservation wise, why would he possibly not do it? Why? Because it would just get litigated. Oh, fine with him. It buys him extra time.
We'll see. It's possible the lawyers may have. I don't know. I mean,
we'll see.
Like Donahue seemed like. I don't know that I was like, all right, dude. Like, I'm surprised Trump put you in there, dude.
How about he wanted to pardon his entire
like an actual
his entire staff. He wanted to pardon his entire staff. Why? I mean, that's just bizarre.
And maybe he did.
He might have. Yeah.
Like we have.
You don't know.
So there was a lot of amazing phrases today. I collect them for my reports, and I will be up all night curating the greatest minds, including my friend Jim, who's got great insights on these things. I think that there were so many amazing phrases, but the one that really stood out for me is, what have I got to lose? What have I got to lose?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What more of an admission of fucking guilt do you need than the man who knows, because everybody's telling him, you can't do this. We're not going to co-sign your corruption. What have I got to lose? You got a lot to lose, but damn it, I got to say, like, sometimes I hate everybody, present company excluded. And what I mean by that is, like, you've got these guys and there they are, and they sound so normal, and there they are, they're standing up for the Constitution. If you really fucking stood up for the Constitution, Trump may have gotten into office and he would have been alone. He would have been standing there alone, because if you stand for the Constitution, you don't let Russia install your fucking president. And that's what I'm having trouble with. I'm having trouble looking at these guys thinking they're all so great because they stand up for the Constitution. And you know what? For years, all these allegedly normal human beings normalized a mobster installed by the Russian government.
Yeah,
they enabled his bullshit wholeheartedly.
I'm gonna play the other side of that argument for a minute.
Please,
which is weird because it usually goes.
Yes. Please, I need you to.
But Liz, I thought Liz's closing was brilliant. Like, she just spoke right to them.
Yep.
Right to them, and in a way that they'll try to make fun of, but I don't think they can. Like that,
I don't know how that. Yeah,
I think Liz has had enough. She's got no fucks, and she's also very smart and knows how to communicate. Yeah. She grew up with her fucking dad, who was the opposite of the great communicator, but knew how to build great communiators. Like,
I mean. I think today was all Republicans.
Yeah.
Right? Was there any?
And they're saying out loud, it's we're Republicans. We're telling you this, and we're going to show you more fucking Republicans telling you this. This is not a Democratic plot.
No.
Wake up.
I mean, when you had Schiff doing the presentation the other day.
That was good. And I thought she gave the proper credit to the people who were sitting there. Like Richard Donahue, I thought seemed like a sane person caught in a fucked up situation who stood his ground. And yes, is there a million micro allowances that dude and everybody else, is guilty of? Sure.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be able to move forward if we make them guilty of all that shit.
Okay, yet,
unless they commit crimes. Don't get me wrong. If they commit crimes, they go to fucking jail. Hear
me out. And yet, because they wanted their tax breaks so bad and their judges so bad, their judges, by the way, who we are at war with, right? You wrote that today. Because they wanted them so bad, even Liz, God bless her, you know, uh, voted for everything that I am opposed to and that this country's progressive values are opposed to. So for me, it's like, it's very bittersweet. You know,
she's one of the most subservient Trump voters of anyone in Congress.
She's 93%
voted with Trump, more than like Margie. Like,
oh yeah.
Crazy.
No one's gonna pass any purity tests, but come on, man.
So Liz sucks, but
she's really good on the Democratic.
Damn it, she's doing a good job right now.
Yes.
Whether, whatever her actual motivations are, whatever she's been guilty of in the past, we have got to be okay with people who decide to do the right thing. We should not forgive anyone who committed crimes. We should not forgive people who cause harm, but we are going to have to reintegrate these people or we're done here.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I also want to say, as a woman who grew up with all the privileges that women fought for, so I could have all those privileges, and to see a Supreme Court just snatching shit away, guns have more rights than women at the moment, and that's where we're headed, right? For me, it's like, I'm not going to stop taking a look at 2016 and saying, what the fuck?
You can't. Of course not. Why would you do that?
Well, because they want us to. They've been normalizing it for the last 5 years. Like, this is all normal.
All right, I'm going to say something.
There's two different things. There's finding out is exposing the truth of what happened, and there's truth and reconciliation, which has to include the reconciliation part.
All right. I'm going to say something now. I need to say this. I think everyone needs to recognize that Liz Cheney and the Republicans testifying to the January 6th committee, these are the last remnants of legitimacy of the GOP. If the GOP is to have any future at all after this shit gets taken down, they need people like Cheney.
They're the America First Republicans now.
I do not recognize the current GOP as a legitimate political party.
Listen, at this point, given the amount of culpability of the GOP, I mean, look at the Texas GOP.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fucking insane cult of fucking neo-Nazi crazy shit. So
it makes me want to secede from Austin. I'll say that.
And sadly, you probably are.
I am. We're going
to lose your family.
Yep. We're going to lose my business. My small business is going to leave. We're going to leave. We're going to be out of here as soon as we can.
So that's what I'm saying.
Which is what they want, right?
The
whole point is to
that's
create blue states and red states, and
that's at this point it's like
I'm with Nancy
born and raised
McLean.
here, and it's like I can't get out of here fast enough.
Nancy McLean of Democracy in Chains said the Republican Party as we know it has ceased to exist. So yes, it's all well and good that there may be a few people who make the great decision when treason's going to fail, but they are also the people that prolonged the madness, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sorry, I feel this way. And we got how many shitty Supreme Court justices because nobody stood up to say this freaking presidency stinks. It's not legitimate.
After World War II, nobody said wasn't like the Nazi Party. How are we going to reconstitute, the good old days of the Nazi Party when they weren't, murdering millions of people?
Yeah.
Like, no, we're fucking done with the party that intentionally helped Vladimir Putin do what he's doing, intentionally allowed Donald Trump to go into office, and intentionally has been allowing this fucking theocratic takeover. And fuck that. They're dangerous. They're fascists. And in order to defeat fascists, you have got to put them in their fucking place, which is not in power.
Yes, that's right.
They are the party that stole children from their parents at the border.
Yeah.
They are the party that ripped the uteruses out of immigrant women.
I must.
They're the party of Ronald
So,
Reagan. You know, I mean, as you saw,
well,
the Reagan,
well,
what?
Well, we know that
Don't you remember the good
Reagan
old
and
days of
racism.
Reagan? Like Reagan was so awesome.
Yeah,
with
Reagan
the
is, yeah.
fucking shining hills.
so,
And
Yeah. Let's watch
so
that
wait a
video clip.
minute. Wait a
Let's watch
minute.
the
Wait a
mean,
minute.
I'm
Wait a
kidding.
minute. Wait a minute.
But
Wait a minute. So
We're getting too heavy here, kids.
no, but I'm glad we're having this conversation. I encourage the rest of America in the places where they feel safe and they feel they can have these conversations to have them, because Jim actually hit the nail on the head when he said truth and reconciliation. And of course, the former president of Estonia, Tuomas Ilves, did make a big point in saying it's not just one politician captured by Russia, by Putin. There are many. So if you're right, if you can actually cut out the metastasizing cancer of the party and see what's left, that'll be interesting. But I want to say I am seeing, because I'm kind of doing a little bit of a kind of my own personal soul searching by talking to local level people of different political, backgrounds. I did ask somebody, a lovely person today, what it's like to be a Republican in 2022. And this person's response was very personal and did not look at the federal shit show, but definitely what's meaningful to this person in their community. And so I think that there are kind of two levels that I'm sort of exploring right now, this national and the local. And I get it, but I must say, if I were a member of any group, any party, anything, and the leaders of it were the people that we're talking about, I would not be a member of that party. I would find something else. I would not want to be associated with that.
And every single person who gets in any cult says the same thing before they get sucked in the cult, right? Like, and it's really important to remember that these people they were not fucking insane before, like most of them, and it's important to remember that there's a big component of undue influence here. That part of what the solution to this whole thing has to be us understanding it and being able to help reintegrate people who are suffering from it. And I think it's important to model that wherever we can, not including people who commit crimes who should go to jail.
Sean?
Yeah. We were talking before we started about Jeffrey Clark and his sort of delusional arrogance of, the fact that even if he got that job, right, he wouldn't know what to do. I mean, he was so out of his league, and still he pushed back. Like that delusional confidence, you know what I mean? Someone that sort of came from people just, blowing him up, getting his confidence way higher. I mean, it was just bizarre. He's been
trained, right?
Yeah, there's something
he's an operative. I said this in private and I'll say it in public. He seems to be on the spectrum, which makes him vulnerable to undue influence.
Yeah.
He seems to me to be suffering undue influence. Again, in his case, that dude needs to go to jail for fucking ever. Like you don't get to do that shit. That's not a thing in America that you get to do, trying to overthrow the country. No. So you go to jail for that. I don't care what influence is on you, but to understand him and to understand what we're dealing with overall, I think it's important to look at that guy and say, look, yes, he's part criminal, because you don't do that shit if you're a criminal regardless, but he's also part of the cult. And that's the most dangerous thing that's been happening over the last year and a half since we've done jack shit about this, is that all these people are coming up from the bottom and scaring away all the normies and filling the spots with cult members. So we've got this huge insurgency of cult members coming up through our local governments and law enforcement. And I don't know if we can take another round of that.
Guys, we had
get there in the meat.
I'm going to look at a question here from chat. And I don't know about this. See if you guys have heard of this. You talk about whether the right wing will be incentivized the summer following Dobbs Gen 6. The Night of Rage. Has anyone heard of the Night of Rage? As something being discussed by alt-right?
Well, I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Night of Rage is like, basically it sounds like Crystal Knocked, right? Like it sounds like a sort of a neo-Nazi kind of call to arms.
I hadn't seen or read anything about that particularly, not as a consequence of a reaction to January 6th. I didn't know if you guys had seen that.
We are still in great peril. What we do know is we are still in great peril.
Listen, there's an important sort of ideology here that that gets often ignored, which is anarchism.
Yeah.
There is a large part of both sides that are literal anarchists / nihilists. On the left, they call they're black pilled, which basically means you're so fucking left that you don't give a shit anymore, and Putin might as well take over because all the libs are fucking up everything anyway. Right. It's very, very, very close to the shit that's happening on the right.
Yeah.
So it's time to deal.
I just all I can do, the only way I can stay, I guess, kind of centered to the best of my ability is by continuing to do the work, continuing to do the investigations, continuing to be able to expose what we can in the hopes that we can see our way through this. And so last night I was reading a report that really summed up the workload of the IRA employees, the St. Petersburg troll operation. And one thing I think that's very important is we continually get saddled with the wrong words, and then we never do anything about it. Troll operation is not what this fucking thing was. This was a massive, militant subversion of our country over the shared narrative that we see in our country.
I have a good phrase for it: psychological warfare.
Yes, psychological warfare. This was a large scale subversive operation. Large scale subversive operation, psychological war, large scale subversive operation. Stop saying troll factory. That's not what it fucking was.
The worst one is Russian bots.
Yeah.
Bots, yeah.
Russian bots that is a distraction. Yes, there were Russian bots. They had a fucking, they were like Microchip was running Russian bots, and Russia was running Russian bots, and there was lots of fucking Russian bots around.
Yes.
But that wasn't the thing. The thing was the PSYOP that was being run by MAGA3X and Mike Flynn. That was brain fucking people to believe that Hillary Clinton was a satanic baby eater, both on the left and the right. I had Bernie friends who were like, Hillary is Satan. I'm like, no, she isn't. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to like her, but what?
Right.
They were listening to Pizzagate shit, but it was fed through, Chapo Trap House and that kind of fucking crap, right?
Right.
And those guys are trolls, but in fact, they're a bunch of Russian ops who started a leftist troll campaign to infiltrate the left and get it radicalized.
So just so we're clear,
to tell you, if you listen to fucking Chapo, you're in a fucking Russian operation. You really are. Like
the workload of those running this large-scale subversive operation against our country. They work 12-hour shifts. They had to manage a minimum of 6 Facebook fake profiles and a minimum of 10 Twitter fake profiles. And then they had to hit all these marks: 3 posts a day from all your Facebook, at least 50 posts a day from your Twitter. And then guess what? Guess what happened?
They got a bunch of friends.
When it came time, when it came time to understand the actual scale of this, Facebook wouldn't tell us. We couldn't get the information. They were like, oh, no, we're going to, no. Until Congress intervened, and then they had to.
Guess what else? they made fucking money off of every one of the ads.
They did. You remember when Facebook
even when they shut their accounts down, they made the fucking money. So
totally. And you remember when Facebook would send Mueller or somebody Congress a couple of ads that Russia had taken out in rubles, and that was like the big controversy. Fuck you, dudes.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going on. There's a whole goddamn army of these assholes out there, and they know exactly who they are. They know exactly the propaganda that's being spread in there.
That's right.
And they're like, "Ooh, we found an ad that had like 100,000 impressions." It's like, no, there's billions of impressions being generated by these fucking people because they're brainwashing people to become propagandists for them.
My God, I was thinking about that today. I know that you guys saw The Great Hack, obviously. We're friends with the folks, behind some of these films, Active Measures and The Great Hack. But there's a moment where they show one of the marketeers from Cambridge Analytica saying, yeah, I came up with this idea that we were going to use some sort of arms crossed for a country. I think it was maybe it was Kenya, and we're going to put a song to it, and we're going to create a sentiment around it. And guess what? Organically, the people of this country began making their own videos, created this movement that was nothing more than a Cambridge Analytica's marketing person's idea. And at least Kenya had the sense to, when they realized that there had been a large-scale subversive operation impacting their elections, at least they had the sense to invalidate their election. We didn't do that here, did we? We were just like, oh, let's just move on. The nightly news is like, oh, it's going to be nice to see who Trump's cabinet is,
Because the people who would pass regulations on companies that do that type of work are the same people that benefit from that type of work. It was interesting. Yeah. Emma Bryant has her propagandamachine.tech website.
Check it out.
Everyone that, yeah.
She's been under attack lately too, recently, unfortunately. As Paul Mason and some other friends.
And Paul Mason.
Yep. I know.
How the fuck do you go after Paul Mason? You gotta be kidding me. Guess who went after him? The biggest Russian ops on the left, right? Gray Zone fucking news, run by Max Blumenthal, who spent a shitload of time in Moscow, and has been doing pro-Assad, pro-Russia propaganda for 6 years straight. And he hired Matt Taibbi, who I used to admire his writing.
I used to love Matt Taibbi. He used to be fantastic.
And dude just went off the fucking deep end, straight into to Oliver Stone, pro Putin, like straight up propaganda. And then there's this other asshole, Aaron Mattei, who popularized the whole Blue Anon thing. Which then subsequently was used to troll me, and Mike Flynn then kind of picked it up to troll everyone else when somebody asked him about Q. This fucking leftist shit show needs to get exposed. Like people still think Glenn Greenwald is a leftist. Are you kidding? He is a fascist.
If you don't know, now you know.
Hold on, honey. I'm gonna bring up what you texted.
Oh, okay. That was from Julie. Julie just sent that to us.
We'll take a quick look at this.
So go ahead and pull it up. I just wanted to say, I wrote a post about it. I wrote a post, Tenacity Strong, which was a poem somebody in recovery wrote me, which was lovely. But I wrote what it's like to be psychologically abused on Twitter. And then I realized, and I said this in the post, I'm not special because all the people who do good work, Paul Mason, Jim Stewartson, Ruth Ben-Ghiat, Dave Troy, the people who are doing the finest work at this very, very, deep, dark hour are the ones that have the, hate accounts continually trying to disparage their reputation and the reputation of their supporters. To me, it's very fucking obvious now. It's so obvious. So you can go to my timeline and read about, from 2014 and 2015, we knew what was happening with these large scale subversive operations. So it'd be nice if people would stop being fooled by it, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, they look. These are professionals, and if the platform allows the behavior, they are going to do it because it's cheap. Hiring these assholes is cheap. It has to be cheap because I've got like 6 or 7 of them who are full time on me personally, and I can't be worth that much. So,
Actually, I did talk to my friend yesterday who's been following this very closely. She's very smart. I won't say her name because she gets in the crosshairs of these fuckers herself. She said, Jim hit a target. Jim hit a big fat target. And that is why they stay on Jim. And once you hit a big fat target, and there were many targets also collaterally involved in that, they didn't like it and they hit back.
No, they fucking hate it. Hey, I have to address something from chat real fast.
Hi-Fi hit a network target too. So yeah. Yes. Jay
says Twitter allows everything nowadays. That's actually not true. They don't allow Jim and they don't allow me.
That's hilarious. Actually, I actually said that I was going to send Twitter my billable hours because, I'm up till 2, 3 doing all my research and documenting and writing. I'm back awake around 6, 7. This has been like this for 6 years. And that's when I start my morning by blocking, why am I not saying fucking when I say that? I'm blocking all of these assholes that Twitter should actually be blocking for us. All of these anonymous hate accounts. Like, why do I have to look at who my followers were overnight, and they're all just bullshit, junk, toxic accounts. And, this has been going on forever. So I would like to not have to deal with this toxicity. I'd like them to deal with it.
But Twitter is run by still like its DNA is a narco-capitalism.
Yeah, right.
Right. Jack Dorsey is an anarcho-capitalist, and that's bad. I mean, it sounds just like some esoteric kind of fucking ideology, but he genuinely wants to break democracy down through anarchy, so he and his buddies can make more money and then rebuild it in their image. It's a literal plan of the guy who started Twitter, which is why in 2016 he allowed all that shit to happen. They knew exactly what was happening. They knew exactly what was happening with QAnon. And how they knew with QAnon? It was because on the 8th of January they turned it off. Like a light switch. It just was like, boop, no more QAnon. Like all over Twitter. And because they knew they had a switch and they fucking left it on until it almost killed democracy. And then they went, oops, sorry about that. Oops. That should tell you what the kind of mentality is there. Yeah. That they allowed that sort of radicalization to go on with their full knowledge, and then when the heat got too strong, they're like, we'll give it up.
We're gonna get rid of Trump and put Musk in his place.
And the goddamn thing was planning the insurrection the whole time, and me and my friends and most of us here were screaming our goddamn fool heads off.
Yeah.
The FBI knew, Twitter knew, everyone fucking knew.
Yeah.
And they didn't do shit.
You know why? Because what did Trump have to lose? Yes, Hi-Fi.
I got a question. What the fuck is the FBI waiting on to arrest Matt fucking Gaetz for paying off underage girls for sex? Like, what? How big is this goddamn investigation?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wish Gal was here because she would tell us all about Matt Gaetz. You know what?
I was in the chat. But I don't. Yeah.
Matt Gaetz came
Yeah.
up in the thing today, along with Marjorie
Yeah, I did.
Taylor fucking Greene.
Yeah,
right?
asking for pardons for a day's worth of work. Yeah. Oh, Gal, Gal knows.
You know, what's that?
Oh, and Gal just said she knows.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I was just saying.
Why didn't you send her the
what I
link?
really want to
Bring
know
her
is,
in.
does it run up to DeSantis? Does Gates run up? Because we know Greenberg, DeSantis, and Gates were hanging out.
Yeah.
We know they're all buddy with Roger Stone. We know Roger Stone's a fucking freak.
No,
Yes, he is.
We have the text messages where he offered $250 grand for the.
No, we have the fucking. We got the Venmo. We got the Venmo receipts.
The Venmos where
I know.
Venmo.
There's no.
But I think you guys,
it's
when you
only
ask that
about
question,
who they are rolling up, what is the order they're arresting people in,
and
and
also
whether
realize
or not Gates is cooperating.
Well,
we are
Gal.
talking.
Here we go, Gal. There's some foreign stuff. Oh,
We
I
are
don't know.
talking
Hey,
about.
Gal.
We
Yeah.
are talking
There's some
about
foreign stuff.
a radicalized party, and we are talking about that's how these guys get their fucking street cred now. They do some really gnarly stuff, and then their radicalized people say, "Oh, yay!" Since when does anybody care about when a Republican commits a crime in their own party? The Democrats are the only
they're
ones
all
held to the rule of
Yeah,
law.
we know these things. Yes,
They all have compromat on each other.
That's right. That's how it's been from the beginning. That would be Trump, and that would be
that's also how they keep.
Cryptocurrency laundering through Belarus. I love
Jesus
that.
Christ! Of
Yeah,
course.
baby.
Love that.
This falls under the. I didn't know that, but why am I not
Dropping
surprised?
fucking bombs.
You
By
asked
the
for
way,
it, buddy. You asked for it, buddy.
I have a short advertisement. I will be posting a 2-hour conversation between me and Gal on my Substack
Yay.
tonight. It was an amazing conversation, but I warn you in advance, I was very stoned and I cussed a lot. I had a very dirty mouth last night during this conversation. Gal was kind enough to. She started out being like a normal adult, and then she decided to go along with me because I was making such a fool out of myself. But she started cussing too, and so it was fun. It was a great conversation.
Way to sell it, bro! I love it.
But if you don't like cussing, it's not going to be good.
Gal, stop humoring him.
Oh my God, I love it. No, that's our Jim. You used. There were some lines. There were some lines that you used in the Substack that we retweeted today, where I was just like, "You're at peak freaking game right now. Like I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stoked."
Okay.
So we must have anagrams because this would not be Rad Pod and Chill.
I had to hide hi-fi. Yes, we have one anagram that Jim wanted me to put on it. And I was like, I don't know. It's all right.
I was like, no. Just stop underselling it. You always oversell them. Stop underselling it.
Maybe I'm having you.
I enjoyed this one very much.
Okay, here we go. This is what's his name? I forgot his name already.
Do we want to wait for Hi-Fi to return?
Jeffrey Boser.
Oh, I guess we No,
we need Hi-Fi for this.
Yeah, we need Hi-Fi. Yeah.
Hi-Fi will. This one's for Hi-Fi.
Bring back Hi-Fi.
Well, then in the meantime, can I play the racist clip? Let me play the racist video from Ronald Reagan. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, let's play racist Ronald Reagan.
Oh,
Just
30 seconds. I did an analysis of him and Trump's policies, and they were basically the same.
It's only 30 seconds long.
Let's do it.
So this is a clip they found of Reagan being very extremely racist. I didn't realize.
Okay.
This is when he's the governor of California. So prior to becoming
Democrat.
Right? Yeah. So here it is. He's talking to Nixon in this clip.
Talking to Nixon. Oh my
God. Yeah.
Totally. And this is not a deep fake. This is legit.
No, it's not. It's legit.
Is this 60s?
Whoops. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can read it anyway.
Okay, here you go.
Last night I tell you to watch that thing on television that I did. Yeah. To see those Those monkeys from those African countries, damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
Shit.
Yeah, well.
You know.
I voted for Carter.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, here's high fives back.
But it's important, right? He was a fucking Democrat.
That's right.
And he was running California, right, with a bunch of hippies and shit.
I think did Howard Cosell get axed for that?
Who else was a Democrat that then became a Republican?
No, I don't think Howard Cosell got axed for that. That was Jimmy the Greek.
No, Howard Cosell.
Yeah, Jimmy the Greek said some shit about black people's thighs.
Okay, well, Howard Cosell said something worse. It's all terrible. It's all terrible. Okay, we were waiting for you to get an anagram.
I would like to say just one thing. If you listen to the Violent Femmes back in the day, specifically the song "Old Mother Reagan," you knew what a piece of shit Ronald Reagan was.
Yeah. There you go.
He got shot on my birthday, just by the way.
Yeah. Well, so what by pointing that is a lot of this is flowing out of the Reagan era, either the initiatives that they put in place or the sort of ideology of Reagan. Everybody casts back to Reagan. All the Republicans, Reagan was just as bad.
Well, the thing is that it's the Democrats who buy into it. That's it's so, like, gross. But again, like if it helps them to look back at the olden days and at least like remember that there used to be a kind of agreement between you guys and us guys where we didn't like try to destroy the entire world.
Yeah,
like we don't have that agreement anymore, and
the
somehow we got to get back.
That's the nostalgia paralysis, though, that keeps everything stuck. Right? There's no moving forward because there's a constant reflection. And anyway, all right. Here's the anagram for you, Hi-Fi. This is Jeffrey Clark.
Let's do it.
Here we go, buddy. This is just for you.
This is the last minute one, and it's
last minute one. Okay.
Jeffrey Bossert Clark.
Oh no.
Right? And this is weird, but it's what it is. That's a chip.
Is that how you spell tersely?
It is. You're right, Hi-Fi loved it.
Fucking great.
I told you Hi-Fi would love it.
You did. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
You never go wrong with a sex joke or a fart joke when Hi-Fi.
Yeah, that's when he's jerking off crabs. Tersely. The tersely really cracked us up because he's like, real fast.
It's the tersely. It's like, okay, Mr. Crab, I'll do it this time.
So, and I was telling Jim, so if anybody wants to anagram on their own, this barfly comes up a lot, and jerk will come up a lot.
He was jerking off a crab, that's for sure.
He was jerking off.
So on a more serious note,
I mean, I have to say this because it came in my head. The problem is if the crab is jerking you off, that's what
tersely. Yeah,
right.
You want to be as tersely as possible.
It wouldn't take long before.
Right.
Before what? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's
like how else? I mean, I don't know if they're that gentle.
This goes in the promos, Connor.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna have a crab do that, you better get me a king crab. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Did you say a kink crab?
A king crab? What?
In all seriousness, when I was listening to Lady Ruby and Shay, I was going back to 2017 Mother's Day, where some Russian propaganda, as retweeted by the Drudge Report and everybody else, had done this like wanted poster of Maxine Waters where they likened her to a pimp. And the reason I remember this very well is because it was fucking Mother's Day. So it was Mother's Day 2017, and I just found a beautiful photo of Maxine, and I tweeted love to her that day. And I didn't have the Twitter presence that I have now, but it was the first time I had a viral tweet because I saw what they were doing and saw that it was being picked up by all the right-wing shit rags. And I was very offended by it. And what was so interesting, though, is that this was the first time I had a tweet that was gaining a lot of traction. But a couple hours into it, this has never happened before, it started losing traction. Like, when people show they're trying to rewind their odometer mile or their speedometer odometer miles on a car, they're trying to reverse it.
Untweeting.
Yeah.
That was
Untweet.
it was very strange, and it hasn't happened since. But I just want to say that I've known this horrible game, and we've known how racist these folks are, and to think that family had to go through that again with the highest levels, taking, basically not caring that their lives could be in danger. That's why I don't acknowledge this party as legitimate. Why would I? I don't.
The craziest troll storm I had was when I ragged on Susan Sarandon.
Oh.
The tanky explosion was bananas. It was crazy. I was like, whoa, what kind of crazy shitstorm did I get myself into? And of course, because I am what I am, I kept going on the thread.
Jimmy can't help it.
I was very honest. I didn't lie. I was telling the truth. I was not fucking pulling any punches. And man, for months, there were entire communities in the sub threads and in the sub threads of that, like ragging on me, coming up with shit,
picking that hornet's nest.
It was a whole. I built a whole hive of tankies underneath this one tweet.
Tanky ecosystem they built. Yeah,
it was a tanky ecosystem. It was like Biosphere 3 tankies.
Yeah, the time that it happened to me most recently was when I tweeted out that it would be so great if we didn't allow Peter Thiel to choose our candidates, and that was the one that got all of these creeps calling me anti-immigrant homophobe, led by a blue check. Much like your experience, a different blue check whose name will go.
It's like ragging on a line and somebody saying, "Why are you attacking African Americans?" Right? It's the same fucking thing. It's the most juvenile, disingenuous.
I just block.
The answer to both of those is not that I'm anti-immigrant or anti this or anti that. It's that I'm anti-fucking fascist, and that's what those assholes are.
Well, so I just want to say that I don't respond because there's no way to win. And I do think one of the reasons I'm, not.
That's a tanky.
Is this something you're working on with the digital descent?
No, I just searched tanky and that's what came up.
Oh, I thought you happened to have tanky art around.
No, I don't like tanky art. Yes.
Why is that? I mean, why is that tanky? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just searched
Giphy. They need to have a hammer and sickle in their thing. They need to be comrades, some shit.
That kind of looks like that's
very,
what they look like.
Very upset about Hillary Clinton.
Well, this was tankies. When I looked it up on Giphy, this is what they showed me right here.
We learned the word from Paul Mason. We got a bunch of great words from Paul Mason. I did anyway. Tanky, rebuttal.
The other clue for tankies, the tell is shit lib.
If
you get a leftist quote unquote who calls you shit lib, what you've got there is a fucking anarchist tanky, and they are maybe not quite as brain fucked as QAnon people, but it's up there. It's up there.
You can always ask them how they feel about Stalin, and if they get aroused, they're a tanky.
More.
I read this incredible thread, and I think I shared it with you guys about how one expat Russian knew that things were going to be hard times in his country again because all of these pulp books started coming out. All these pro-Stalin revisionist history books, one right after the other. Bookstores and bookshelves were just filling with them. One more, a really cheaply done, a really, poorly researched and all based on, crap. And so That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Pootie wants to rehabilitate that dude. He's like, I mean, like
He has.
Stalin saved the
has.
world from Hitler, right? Like that's part of this whole like Ukraine is full of Nazis.
Yeah.
He's trying to reimagine the good old days of World War II when he was the hero, when Stalin was the hero and helped stop Hitler and all of these things. But while he was doing that, he killed somewhere between 20 and 50 million of his own citizens.
And you know that
the propaganda now, right? Is that there's a civil war, the civil war in Ukraine.
Yes. We all got it wrong.
I have to explain something to Marie. Marie, Chud is actually it's from a science fiction movie back in the 80s. It stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. However, it has been co-opted to mean troglodyte, caveman, like knuckle dragging, mouth breathing.
And also we have a spin-off from the Chad, right? The Chad.
I was gonna say
there's the Chad who wears the fucking polo,
preppy shirt,
and the Chad who wears the fucking like greasy MAGA hat.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give props to our Gurgle teddy bear, who can recite these acronyms, and as well as many foreign obscure countries and their leaders. Yes. That's Jim's he's like a Google teddy bear. I just say Gurgle because it's funny.
You did say gurgles. I was like,
I know. I said gurgle. I said gurgle.
I was like, that was dark. Who's the Gurgles teddy bear?
Gurgles teddy bear.
That would be misinformation, everybody.
Yeah.
So in the time we have left, does anybody want to say their favorite moments from the hearings yet?
No.
I have a
yes, I have a few.
I am slowly developing a crush on Liz Cheney, and it's embarrassing. It's
totally good, actually. It's good
against my values. It's against everything I believe in. But she's kind of a badass, and I don't know. I don't know. She's kind of cute, and I'm just there's something going on there. Liz,
a reminder that you're
listening, and you can find those 30,000 emails.
I just need to remind you, Jim, that your crush, her father shot a man in the face, and that dude apologized to him. So
that's kind of badass
and what did I tell you? Badass. He got the dude who he shot to apologize. Right? That's metal. That is fucked up, but that is how
what is
the fucking environment that she grew up in, where that is what you do. Like, you shoot somebody, and your fucking job right now is to make him apologize, and he, and so she's just doesn't give a shit about things, and thank God that she's decided that her line is different from her father's, who would have totally been on the other side of this.
Well,
I will say I have had no passion for Kinzinger in the past. Like, whatever, he's this.
I thought he was great today.
Yeah, he was.
Today he became a guy that I would sit down and have a beer with.
Totally. He was very direct, very direct. Yeah. And
he did a good job.
I've never been super impressed with him as a thinker or a speaker or anything like that. But today I thought his passion came through, and him, like Liz, was really speaking to people in the way they needed to be spoken to.
I'll tell you my favorite moment. Every single time Benny the chair flips on that mic switch. That's it. Like every single time. This good American just is like.
We know Morgan Freeman is going to be playing Benny in the movie. Who's going to be playing Kinzinger? I'm going to go with Rob Lowe.
No.
What?
No.
Okay,
No. Too much baggage.
I think that guy, the guy who was under the banner of heaven, that guy.
I was going to play my favorite part real fast of the hearings, if that's all right. You want to see one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, do it.
Feel short.
Mr. Giuliani accused you and your mother of passing some sort of
Can you not hear it?
Can't hear it.
Yeah,
Can you not hear it?
we can hear it. I can hear it.
I can't.
I think it's as loud as I can
You
get
can
it.
read it. Just read it.
All right, it's this part.
Giuliani accused you and your mother of passing some sort of USB drive to each other. What was your mom actually handing you on that video?
A ginger man.
That's it. That's so fucked up.
She's just so.
They're
so
accusing
sweet
you of passing
so
USB
brave.
drive. And what
So
was your mom
brave.
handing you? A fucking ginger mint.
Oh God.
That's like as human as you can get right there, man. These fucking sweet ass people doing work, and they're getting accused of the worst shit and getting their house surrounded, and her mom was
Well,
giving her a goddamn
it's
ginger.
because-
Herb, did you the part about the fucking
Heartbreaking.
home and like the citizen's arrest
Yeah,
against her grandmother?
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
So
That is fucking crazy. Like whoever those people are need to go to jail.
So what did we
Yes.
learn? Authoritarians are mafiosos, and that is the takeaway from days 1 through 5. So this is mob.
Which is why we
this
need
is
more
mobster.
mafioso shit like from Eric.
This is mobster stuff, and we saw a mob arrest today. So
All right, let's get out, guys. We gotta go.
love you guys.
Later.
Bye bye.
Bye.